Life struggles, happy moments, bad times, and unforgettable memories.
Join us as we talk about our lives and share a laugh or two with us as we bring you along on our crazy journey called life.
Welcome
Welcome to
to
Two
Wives,
Wives,
One
One
World.
World. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Two Wives, One World. My name's Cass.
And I'm Nikki, and we're so excited to share our episode with you today.
Yes, we are excited. This video is going to be all about wedding planning and tips and tricks and how to not lose your mind and how to have fun along the way.
I feel like we did lose our minds, though.
Oh, definitely. For a little bit there, I really didn't think I was ever going to get a break.
I feel like every bride has her, moments where she's a bridezilla. You could be, the nicest person in the world and still have, that just listen to me kind of moment.
Oh, I agree. If you want to see the true, I don't really want to say freak out in a person, but if you really want to see another side of a person that you haven't seen, you make them a bride and have them plan a wedding, and their inner bridezilla will come out real quick.
Oh, 100%.
So, I guess, Nikki, how overall was your wedding planning experience? Did you like it? Did you enjoy the process? Was it kind of like a chore for you? What did you think?
I love planning anything. I am an organized, planning kind of person. If I wasn't a teacher, I would definitely be, a travel agent just because I enjoy that. But my wedding was a little different just because there's so many things that go into planning a wedding. And it's something you dream of your whole life. And I don't know, it was so overwhelming at first. And Justin and I had 2 years to plan our wedding, so it felt like it took forever, and, when the wedding actually came around, I didn't believe it was actually happening. So I got a little stressed out near the end of the wedding planning. And I had a lot of people telling me, what to do. And I'm a people pleaser, as you know, so are you.
Oh, me too.
So it was hard for me to tell, people, no, I don't like that idea. So, I mean, other than that, though, wedding planning wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it. How was
Me too.
yours?
I feel the same. I was a little bit overwhelmed at first just because, you never take a class or unless you've been in a wedding before, you don't really know everything that goes into it. So it's like, all right, not too hard. Just got to find a venue and a reception place and all that stuff. But then you really start planning a wedding, and once you get the big things down, it's like, all right, the little things are what kind of drove me crazy because I had a vision, but it was hard for everything to come together. So it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I have all this booked, but I don't know what I want to do for centerpieces. I don't know what I want to do for flowers. It's like I said, little overwhelming, but overall, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I liked keeping track of everything and going and touring things, and I thought it was a lot of fun. But there were some times where I was like, oh my goodness, this is way harder than it needs to be. Way harder. So
Yeah. So, speaking of that, how did you stay organized whenever you started wedding planning?
well, I stayed organized. Mostly, there were 3 different things that I did. I've made a wedding website, which you showed me.
Mm-hmm.
You bought me the little organizer book when Ryan and I first got engaged that said, what's your wedding dress? What do you want your wedding dress to look like? What does your wedding dress look like? So that helped me.
The little scrapbook thing.
Mm-hmm. That, and I, kept receipts for everything and kind of tried to keep everything in, another book that I had, and I just tried to keep everything together. And then, on the knot, it had, planning tools, which helped even more. So it was that's the big way I stayed organized. How about you? What were your favorite ways of making sure you kept everything organized?
So, I used the knot.com, which you also used. I found that website because a friend of mine bought me a wedding planning book, and it was looking through it just made me feel so overwhelmed. And I saw they had this website, so I was like, okay, let me look at this and see if I like this better. So I got on the knot.com and saw that you can make your own website, and it gave you like checklists of what you had to do. Like, it would be like, oh, in May you need to do blah, 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 blah. So that kept my brain more organized than just like looking through a book, like trying to make sure that I hit every little thing that was in that book.
Mm-hmm.
But I did that. I actually kept a journal during the wedding planning process, so I could like go back and be like, why was I so stressed out about that? And I know that's not like actually organizing for the wedding, but it like organized my thoughts.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then I also had that bride scrapbook. That's why I thought to get it for you, because I just enjoyed doing everything in it.
I loved it. Thank you again for that. That was a great gift. Anybody, if any of your friends are getting engaged, get them a little book that they can like write stuff down in, because that was a huge help for me.
I think it's called the bride book. It's like a blue book with a wedding ring on the front. It's so cute. And then they also have other books that are like the baby bump book, the
Oh,
the baby book, the 1 year book, the sibling book.
oh,
Like, I'm so getting those
that's
whenever
so
me
cute.
and Justin decide to have kids.
That's so adorable. Yes. Love it. Love it. Okay, so now that we kind of have given them some ways on how to stay organized, how do you pick your wedding party? What steps do you do, or what steps do you wish that you would have done while choosing the people you wanted to stand beside you on your wedding day?
Oh, this is so hard. Because, like, you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings for not asking them to be in your wedding. But at the same time, you don't want, like, 15 people just on your side. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I picked my wedding party was I started with family. And I have two sisters. And Justin has a sister. So I knew right there I'd have those three. And I knew I had to have my three closest friends from high school slash college slash from forever. Like, you guys are my family, so it was a no-brainer to me that I would have you, Melissa, and Rachel all in my wedding party. And Melissa's my best friend since elementary school. Rachel's was my roommate in college, and we like were inseparable. And then I picked Justin's cousin Arroya because she was like a sister to him growing up, and he always said, like, I just really want to have Dee Dee and Arroya on your side if that's okay. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Um, and then my niece Brianna was also on our side.
Oh,
She's 10. She was my mini maid of honor, and she stood beside me and held my flowers for me during the wedding. And it was just so special to me just to have her there, because she is my best friend. Like, I just love her so much, and she's like my baby. Anyway, I don't want to get emotional talking about it, but
oh,
but I had her, and I think that's everybody that I had on my side. I
I
had
think
like
so.
8 girls. Like, I had a pretty decent side. And then with Justin, I asked him to have my brothers, which I have 2 brothers, and then he picked his cousins, which are like his brothers, and he also had 2 friends in our wedding. Yeah, 2 friends.
Nice.
So, I mean, it was a hard process, but not a hard process in a way. I don't know. What do you think, Cass?
See, my thing was I wanted to have a small wedding party, but I also wanted to make sure that I was including people. And like my big issue came in like two of my very best friends in the world don't live in Pennsylvania. So it's like I had I really knew I already knew I wanted Ryan's sister in the wedding because I knew that was important to him. And I wanted to have Shad in my wedding, my brother, because he's kind of like how you have Brianna as your best friend in your family. Like Shad's my best friend in my family.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knew I wanted to have my best friend since freaking middle school in it. And then I knew I wanted to have two other of my really, really good friends in my wedding. But there were two other girls that I really wanted in the wedding party that one lived in Mexico and the other one lives in Mississippi. So it's like I really wanted them to be in the wedding, but like with the distance, it was hard because obviously I wasn't going to expect them to drive that far for, the decorating and the rehearsal and everything. So it was like I really wanted to make sure that the people that I couldn't have in my wedding party, I like made sure I explained to them like, hey, I love you guys. I would give anything to have you guys beside me, but it's like the distance, it kind of stinks. And like
Yeah.
they totally understand. They both understood. So that was really good. But for Ryan's side, he had his brother as his best man, and then my brother, and then one of our really good friends, and his brother-in-law. So it was pretty easy. We pretty much knew from the beginning. We were like, we know who the most important people are in our lives as far as like friends and stuff go. We knew we wanted to have those people. But it was also at the same time, it was like there was one person that I thought I wanted to have in my wedding, but it wasn't for the right reasons. So I just didn't ask this person to be in the wedding. I'm not going to give any names or anything, but I just want to let anybody that's listening that's struggling with this, if you feel like you have to have someone in your wedding because you were in theirs, or you feel like you need to have someone in your wedding because you feel like if you don't, they're going to be mad, just don't do it. Don't do what you want.
Yes, it's not worth the stress and the anxiety that you will go through with having them in your wedding and having them in your wedding pictures and your wedding video forever.
Forever, you're going to have to be looking at that. And honestly, I wish that there was a way that you could like look into the future and see like, is this person still going to be as close to you as you are right now 5 years down the road?
Yes.
So I wish that was a thing because I feel like that would help so many women because there are so many people that probably have people in their bridal party and they like look back at the pictures and there's either a falling out or they grew apart and it's like, I wish I would have picked this person instead.
Mm-hmm. Photoshop them out. Just crop them out of the picture. It's fine. Always put the people that you're not sure about on the end of your pictures so you could always crop them out later.
For real.
I'm just kidding. Don't actually do that. Just don't have them in your wedding at all.
Yeah, no, because it's not worth it. And that's another thing. I don't want to go too far into this subject and talk about it for 25 minutes. But, like, just don't feel obligated. Don't feel obligated. I know so many girls that I've talked to that talk about their future wedding that are like, well, I need this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. Oh, and this person, and this person. And they're up to, like, 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you have to buy these people gifts. You have to take into consideration it's not just emotionally, it's financially too.
Definitely. I mean, trying to find gifts for 8 of you was a struggle without spending like $1,000. Like, I really wanted to get you like those pretty silk robes with flowers and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like $20 a piece, which isn't too bad, but then when you have to buy 8 of them and it turns into $160 plus shipping, plus, and plus I wanted to get you jewelry and say like an earring and a necklace set is $20. That's another $160. It adds up so quick.
So fast. It's like you blink and you spent $250. It's like, whoa.
How did that happen?
Whoa.
Weddings are so expensive.
So expensive. But long story short, with picking your bridal party, just make sure you talk to your heart and listen to your heart and just know that you want these people in your wedding party. Just
definitely think like who's been there for you not just now, but previously.
Yep, I
And
agree.
who's like in that stage of your life with you? So like there were some people that I wanted to have, but I knew like they are in a different stage of their life than I am right now. So maybe having them in my wedding party would be more of a stressful situation for them, and then it would end up being stressful for me as well because they wouldn't really want to be in the wedding.
That's a good point. That is a great point. And make sure that you pick people that are actually going to spend time with you on your wedding too.
Yes, because I think that is like so terrible whenever somebody just leaves you on your wedding day. Like
Oh, yeah, I agree.
you ask them to stand next to you during your wedding, and then they're just gonna ghost you during your reception. Like,
Yeah, that.
oh, the important part's over, so now I'm just gonna leave. See ya.
Right.
And like
Or
for the
people that are on their phone the whole time.
yes, and like the rehearsal dinner. Okay, you need to have somebody that's going to be there to help you decorate, you know, enjoy your rehearsal dinner with you, because those are such big moments in your wedding like life. Honestly, that's such a weird way to
I
put it, but
agree. No, it's true.
I can honestly say like our rehearsal dinner was amazing because all of my wedding party just made it amazing. And I don't get it. I don't get people who just want to be in a wedding just to say they have the title of like a bridesmaid or a maid of honor. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I agree. I agree. Like, the whole reason you're even in the wedding is so you can support the bride. Like, and if that communication isn't there or that person isn't supporting the choices that you're making, I don't care if you don't like anything that's going to be in my wedding. You're my maid of honor or you're my bridesmaid, so you're going to respect that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not your wedding. Like, that's how you need to look at it right there. And if people say that they don't like what you're going to choose or they're going to make you feel bad about what you choose,
You don't need
I'm
to
sorry
talk to
that
them.
I agree. You're a terrible person if you do that to someone. But
This
anyways,
this whole podcast is just going to be a huge rant.
oh, it's gonna it's gonna touch some we're gonna reach some touchy subjects. I
Yes.
feel like it's, at least for me, there's gonna be some touchy subjects,
Well, yeah,
but
because we both just went through this like maybe 2 months ago.
and it still feels new. Like, it still doesn't feel real. You know
Right.
what I mean? It still doesn't. But
All right. So choosing a venue.
ooh, this is a good one.
I loved looking at venues. That was like one of my favorite things about starting to plan the wedding was places to get married. Because I feel like it's almost like looking for a house, but like a house that you only have for a day.
Aw, that's a cute way to put it.
Yeah,
I
so
love it.
I'm trying to think. Me and Justin so I really wanted to get married outside in front of like a pond and then have our reception inside because, bugs and food don't really mix.
Mhm.
So we went to go look at this barn and I loved it. Like the outside was beautiful. It had a pond. It was just out in the middle of nowhere. And it had a barn, obviously. It had a barn to go inside and have your reception in for like dancing and eating and all that stuff. And I was 100% yes, this is where I want to get married until Justin goes, this isn't going to be big enough. And I was like, what do you mean this isn't going to be big enough? This is what I want. And he was like, we have 230 people invited to our wedding. You think that this small little barn is going to hold that many people? So I pulled the card of, well, maybe that many people won't show up. And he's like, well, that's how many people we need to plan for. So, long story short, we didn't end up getting the barn. But, so then we went to look at a couple more places, and they were just so beautiful, but way too expensive.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they were so, like, there was this one place that was like $100 per person.
Per
Not,
person. I know where you're
yes,
talking.
not
I
including
know.
like linens, or I don't remember what else, but like you had to pay for, there were so many underlying costs on top of the $100 per person.
Is this the same place that charged you $250 to decorate it the night before?
Yes.
Oh.
So we looked at that in another place, which was also a little, it was less expensive, but still pretty expensive. And then we went to the villa, which is where we ended up getting married and had our reception. Um, it was, you know, it wasn't what I thought I wanted until I got there and I saw it set up for a wedding, and then I was like, yes, this is perfect. And actually, should I go into the golf course incident?
I would. I would.
I
That's
got
me.
screwed over,
You got
people.
ripped off.
Screwed over. So, Justin and I picked the villa for our reception hall. We were not supposed to get married there because it was all inside, and as you know, I wanted an outside wedding. So, we go to this golf course, which is beautiful. You know, my brother got married there to my sister-in-law. And we go talk to people, which was hard enough, like, finding somebody to talk to about this. Like,
I
nobody would
agree.
answer our calls. Nobody would call us back, which should have been the first red flag. But, you know, my heart was set on it, and I wanted to go look at it. So we did. We got in touch with the wedding planner. He, like, showed us around. We put down the $300 to save our date. And he was like, you can go up here and take pictures afterwards. It'll be beautiful. And I was like, awesome. I can't wait. Fast forward 6 months until our wedding. I've been trying to get a hold of this guy for like 3 months about, you know, when would be a good time to come set up? When can I do this? When can I do that? No answer. I called. I went there. Nothing. I come to find out that the owner of this golf course decided that he's not doing weddings anymore. And he's not going to call and tell anybody that they're not doing weddings anymore. And he's not going to refund anybody for the money that they spent. So, Justin and I, 6 months before our wedding, have to try to figure out where to have our ceremony at. I am a mess because it's 6 months before we get married. We don't have anywhere to get married at. My vision was outside. This is not happening.
Oh no.
So you can imagine how I'm feeling. And we're out $300 on top of that. So we go back to the villa and we talk to them and we're like, we need to get married here. We need to have our ceremony here because right now we are out of options. And they were like, okay, that's fine, no problem. Like, we can do that. This is what we'll do. Blah, 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 blah. This is where you'll get ready. This is where he'll get ready. They were so accommodating, and it, even though I always wanted an outside wedding, it was beautiful.
It really was. It was awesome.
It turned out perfect. So, since I just went on for about 15 minutes, how did you pick a venue?
Well, Ryan and I both kind of already knew. Well, at first it was like, okay, so he's from Kentucky, I'm from DuBois. Where the heck are we going to get married? But it was easy. We chose DuBois just because I have a huge family and, you know, I grew up there and all this. So that was pretty easy for us. Right off the bat, we pretty much knew. And then we also knew that we wanted to get married at the same church my mom and dad and my grandparents got married at. So there we go. But the thing is we didn't know if our pastor was going to be available whenever we wanted to get married. So all that worked out the way it was supposed to. But if I had to like do it over again, I might think about maybe doing it outside. Just because I loved getting married in a church. I really did. But there were certain things that I kind of wish could have been maybe a little different. And it's not like I didn't like getting married in the church or anything, because I did. It looked beautiful.
It did.
But I just love the nature element of things. Like, and it's summer, so like the grass is green and the sky is blue, but I loved getting married at the church. So it was pretty easy for me. But I know that if I would have had to go look at the venues, I probably would have had a hard time choosing, just because the money element and okay, I can't choose because it's all so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But that was pretty much it for me. I pretty much already knew that we wanted to get married, and we were members of the church, so it was kind of like, okay, well, we'll do this and make sure everything looks good, and that was pretty easy. That was one part of the wedding that was very easy. Very easy.
Cass and I
Yeah,
actually had our reception at the same place too.
we did. And I loved what they did for your ceremony. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
I loved
They
it.
did a great job. Minus that one girl giving me a issue. But, that's okay. It happens. She's like, oh no, she's bringing it up.
No. Oh no.
We won't talk about we won't get into details.
We let's just say we helped each other out a lot with the keeping each other calm thing.
Yes, that's for sure. All right, so the hard-hitting question: who do you invite to your wedding?
This is another touchy subject.
Yes.
So my instance was a little bit different, just because Ryan's 8 hours away from Du Bois. So we already knew a lot of his family probably weren't going to come because it's a long drive. And so really the only people that I wasn't able to invite were like, well, I shouldn't say wasn't able to, but the only people I really didn't invite were like distant relatives. But I knew I wanted to have most of my family there. I knew I had certain friends I wanted to be there. And I kind of had to like, I went through and made an original draft of everybody that I thought I wanted. And then I went through and I was like, okay, well, I don't really want this person. I don't really want this person. Like, and then it's just kind of like, I just don't talk to them enough to think that I want them at my wedding. So it was mostly like a elimination type thing. And I think like my third draft, I finally got it down. Like, this is how many people I want, and this is how many people I think are going to come. But little did I know that like 50 people would decline the invite, and like 10 people tell me the day before the wedding that they're not coming.
Oh, man.
So prepare for that if you're planning a wedding, because I know people told me like, oh, well, all those people aren't going to come to your wedding. And this is one thing that and I'm going to leave it for like a rant later on, but I'm just going to sum it up real quick. One thing that makes me so mad is when you're sitting there looking at your guest list and it's like, okay, this is family and this is family that I know aren't going to miss this day for me. I know there's no way that they would ever miss out on this day because they're my family, and deep down, no matter what's going on in life, they're not going to do that to me.
Right.
Well, guess what, y'all?
Y'all.
It happens, and it's terrible. Because now it's like, all right, well, that was a waste of a save the date and a waste of an invite, because if I would have known all around you weren't going to tell me until 2 days before my wedding, when you're pretty much close to being my immediate family, that you're not coming to my wedding, I wouldn't have wasted the paper or the stamps.
Or but anyways, time.
Or the time it takes. But I'll leave that for we have a little bit of a rants about wedding planning coming on later. I'll get more into that. But Nikki, I know you and Justin both have big families.
Oh,
so
yes.
How did you decide who was invited and who wasn't?
Well, this is how we ended up with 230 people on our guest list. So my side, I really don't have like a gigantic family. Like, it's a normal, decent size. I have aunts and uncles on my dad's side and aunts and uncles on my mom's side. And then I have a stepdad, and he has brothers and sisters and kids and whatnot. But Justin knows literally everybody. He did karate, which helped him meet a lot of people. His family is huge. Like, he has like 5 uncles and like 3 aunts, and that's just his dad's side. And then he has like a lot of family friends, which are like aunts and uncles to him. So, needless to say, our guest list grew pretty fast. We made one big copy, which probably had about 300 people on it. And then slowly throughout the months, we dwindled down people, cut people out, you know. But we had a big list of people, and it just, we slowly got it down to 230, and that was our magic number. Now, it's so hard to try to decide who you want because, again, you don't want to upset anybody. You don't want to hurt any feelings, but you also don't want to invite your mom's great Aunt Helda from like Czechoslovakia, you know? So we kind of had to look at it that way too. I don't know. It's hard because how you said like people didn't show up, we had the opposite problem. Like I had people texting me 2 days before our wedding saying like, hey, can I bring blah 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 blah, hey, can I bring blah 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 blah, and I'm like, holy crap, we just added like an extra 10 people onto our guest list just in case extra people would show up, and now we filled those 10 spots already, so we have to add another 10.
Oh no.
Which obviously costs more money. So we did have people come to our wedding that didn't RSVP, and some of them didn't even get invites, but you know, you don't at the time it makes you angry, but when you're in that moment, you don't care.
Yep, I agree.
Like I remember one of Justin's guests, I remember not sending them an invite, and they showed up, and I was just like, I hope you have fun. Where
Aww.
if I would have known he was coming 3 days before the wedding, I probably would have lost my crap. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
Everything seems like such a big deal before the wedding, and then it happens, and you're just like, whatever.
It's not fine. A big deal.
I'm married to the love of my life. Everything's great.
Aww.
You know, and that's what I feel like is very important about your wedding day. Like, you stress about all these details when really the main goal is to be married.
I agree. That's a great way to think of it, honestly. You know, put everybody else's wants and needs to the side, and what comes down to it is you and your husband. Or you and your wife, if any guys are out there listening.
Yeah. And if you're a guy,
that's really all that matters.
If you're a guy and you have a different insight, please let us know.
Yes, let us know, because honestly, I feel like Ryan and Justin were very like, do what you want. Like, I know this is your day. Like, I'm going to support it. But I'd love to hear a guy's insight that, like, got fed up with wedding planning.
Yes.
I think that would be cool.
I would love to hear that, too. So, like I said, if you're a guy and you had to deal with wedding planning and setting up all this stuff, or you just, like, helped your wife or whatever, just tell us about it. We want to know.
Yes.
We want to know your perspective.
Definitely. Because maybe it might be fun.
Yes, I agree. So picking colors. I think we kind of touched on this in our last podcast, but let's go back over it.
Oh, boy. Well, Nikki, did you kind of know from the beginning, like, I know I want this and I know I want this color, or was it kind of like I don't know. Like, did you have another color scheme in mind?
So, I kind of knew right away that I wanted to do like a baby blue with a red and silver. That was like I knew from the beginning that's what I wanted. But again, with people telling you how to run your wedding and me being a people pleaser, people were like, oh, it's going to look like the American flag. You're going to look like you're having a redneck wedding. Well, that eats at me because I'm not a redneck kind of person.
No.
And I'm like thinking to myself, oh my gosh, it's going to look terrible. What am I going to do? Because at the time, that wasn't a big color scheme. Like, nobody really had examples of it anywhere.
Yeah.
So I really second-guessed myself, and I had other color schemes picked out. Like, I had like a purple and a blue color scheme. And then I had, what other ones? Yellow and red, which I hate yellow, so I don't know. It was just like one of those things where people kept throwing ideas at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And I'm so glad I went with my first instinct and picked the colors I did because it was beautiful.
Yes, I loved it. I loved it. It was stunning.
Yeah, and like I said, at the time there was nobody really did those colors together, and the closer and closer our wedding got, I heard of so many more people picking those colors, and I was like, whew, well, at least I know that I have good taste in something.
You do. You really do. Well, you picked my colors for me, basically.
Yeah, I kind of did.
It was brilliant because you automatically said like pink, navy, and gold. I was like,
I mean, it's kind of almost the opposite from my colors because I had a baby blue, you had a navy blue, I had red, you had a pink, which is like a lighter tone of red.
yeah,
And then I had silver and you had the opposite of gold.
gold.
So
that's crazy.
It's kind of like cool how that worked out.
That's all. I never thought of it that way. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
So if you're planning a wedding and you want a different kind of color scheme, blues and reds go really pretty together.
Oh, heck yes. I love them. I feel like a lot of people do like the burgundy and like fall colors, which I mean is cool, but if I have to see one more wedding with like I shouldn't really say that because I mean whatever you want for your wedding is cool, but I feel like the burgundy is just
so overdone.
So overdone. Which I mean fall weddings are beautiful, but you know, there's orange and you know, other colors.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had to wear an orange dress for my brother's wedding and I kind of felt like a pumpkin.
Aww.
But it was a beautiful dress nonetheless. I told Justin even if we would have got married in like the fall or the winter, our colors still would have been red and blue. It just would have been like a dusty blue and like a maroon.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, I wish I could plan another wedding now.
I know. So what kind of inspiration did you have for your decorations?
I mostly, honestly, Pinterest was a huge thing. And, like, I feel like that even had more of an inspiration than, like, the wedding magazines did for me.
Yes. Thank the gods that created Pinterest.
Pinterest, because I got a lot of my ideas from there. I got a lot. And then our family friends Joe and Jackie that got married, a lot of their decorations were gold. So I took a lot of inspiration from their wedding. Their wedding was beautiful. So it's like I really tried to take inspiration without copying. So I think that's where a lot of mine came from. I didn't necessarily have a theme, but I knew I wanted to have it like kind of like the lights kind of dimmed and like that cool, like mellow, like just relaxing evening.
Mm-hmm.
That's where mine came from. I know you had fairy tale inspiration.
Yes, that was my theme of my wedding. I always knew I wanted that because, like I said in the last podcast, like fairy tales have just been a big thing for me.
They have.
Decoration wise, I knew I wanted glitter. I love glitter. Everything.
Yes, you do.
Glitter. So for like our centerpieces, I had my stepdad cut down a birch tree, which is kind of like a grayish tinted tree, which worked with our color scheme. And I Mod Podged the top of it and sprinkled glitter all over it. You can ask Cass because she helped me with this. I had a pound of silver glitter that I bought off Amazon.
It was a lot. It was so much, but it was so worth it.
Right. And
they looked so good.
What else did I have for decorations? I had like Cinderella slippers on our cake table. I had little diamonds. I put out a book of me and Justin, a scrapbook that I made in high school of us, which kind of like, I really wanted our wedding to be personal. So I put out that scrapbook, and then at each table I had a different picture of me and Justin throughout the years.
Aww.
On the table. And I really wanted to do pictures of us at each age, but I was not a good looking 8-year-old, so that didn't happen. So I ended up one of the ladies I work with, she's so sweet, bought me this picture frame that says something about us then and us now. And it had spots for each of our baby pictures and then a big spot for us together. So I put a
Aw.
picture of Justin as a baby, a picture of me as a baby, and then one of our engagement pictures.
Aww.
So I felt like that made it more personal.
Definitely. That's so cute. Man, I wish we could go back.
I know, like I said, I would get married all over again. I had so much fun.
Oh, I would too.
I
It
just
was
wish it
so great.
wasn't so much money.
I know. I know. Like, I wish I could do that all with like a quarter of the cost. And
Yes.
then I'd be down.
What were your food choices?
We chose stuffed chicken breast, lasagna, green beans, almondine, mashed potatoes, and salad.
Good choice. That's a solid,
Fire.
solid choice.
Their mashed potatoes were so good.
Oh my gosh, so good.
So good. What about you guys? What'd you have?
So we had chicken, I think it was called chicken romano, and it was like a breaded chicken with cheese. Oh, it was amazing.
Ooh, it was so good.
And then we had roast beef, which literally melted in your mouth.
Oh, that was good too.
And then we
Oh,
had mashed potatoes, corn. Oh, chicken. We had Alfredo, not chicken Alfredo, but it was Alfredo.
mm,
And
so good.
I think that was it.
And rolls, I think.
Yeah, I think we both had rolls.
Rolls. So good though. And you know what? We had the pepperoni and cheese tray at ours, and I didn't get any of it.
Girl, I know. We had the
I
cheese.
didn't get
We had
any.
the same thing, and I didn't get any either. I didn't get any cookies either. Like, my family baked for like hours on these cookies, and I didn't get any.
I didn't get any cookies or wedding cake other than what Ryan smashed in my face. All because people kept, and I mean, it's fine, I wasn't mad. But people kept pulling me to the side for pictures, and it's just like, all right, I'm happy to do that, but at the same time, I want to enjoy my reception.
I understand that. I felt like I was in the photo booth the majority of my wedding reception because.
Yep.
And the thing with me is, like, obviously, I love children because I work with them. So I had, like, my nieces coming up to me asking me to take pictures. My brother's friend brought his kids, and they wanted me to take pictures with them. When those kids just, like, look at me with those faces, and they're like, will you get a picture with me? Like, I just can't say no.
I know, it's not like, no, sorry, like, you have to go do it.
I don't know about you, but, like, I had so many people come up to me, like, the kids that we had at our wedding come up to me, and they're like, you look like a princess. And it just, like, melts my heart. Like, I love children.
Oh, that is really cute. It's like, thank you. It's like, you're so cute. Thanks for that. And it makes you feel, I don't know about you, but when kids compliment me, I always feel the best because kids are truthful.
Oh my gosh, so truthful.
So it's like, you actually think I look pretty.
I had this one little kid when I was teaching dance. She said to me, oh, Miss Nikki, when are you having your baby? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm not having a baby.
Oh no.
I'm
I would
just
have been
extra bloated today.
I would have been like, when are you going to shut up? No, I'd never say that to a kid. But that's the thing with kids, is they're just so truthful. And it's just like, so if a kid's like, I don't like the pizza you cooked, it's like,
Yeah.
well, fine then.
They really
Go get a
mean it.
pizza. But anyways, Nikki, I need to know, because you're a calm person,
Oh, jeez.
how did you stay calm and how did you cope with the stress of it all?
I mean, staying calm during wedding planning was kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie. There were a lot of stuff, like, I just wanted to lose it over. The way I stayed calm was kind of like listening to music and watching, like, Netflix, binge watching Netflix. I'm trying to think what else I did. I just kind of, like, talked to my friends about what was going on, and like I said, I kept a journal. I wrote in my journal. Having you to go through this with really helped. because you knew how I was feeling and I could, like, talk to somebody about it. My biggest advice for keeping calm during wedding planning is definitely have that go-to person to talk to everything about.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure it's a person that doesn't get annoyed with you, because they will probably get annoyed with you by the end of your wedding.
Yes, that's important. That is so important, because and make sure it's somebody that can relate to you too. Because I feel like if you try to go to someone that doesn't really understand the way you feel or doesn't feel the same way as you, I feel like they're going to make it seem like you're being a burden, which isn't the case at
Or you're,
all.
like, overreacting.
Ugh.
I hate when people act like I'm overreacting to something that means so much to me.
I know. It's like, this is my wedding. Like, what do you expect me to do? Be cool? Like, yeah, I think those are good ways. I definitely do. And I feel like I did the same thing. And, having that person is so important. The only other thing I can kind of think of is like, just breathe. Like, there are going to be times where you're going to want to just throw your computer across the room. But just
Yes.
like breathe and be like, okay, this is fine. If it's a problem, we can figure it out, have a good support team. If it's a big problem, still breathe and call that person that you know you can go to and be like, listen, you're not going to believe this. And just getting it off your chest sometimes is what you need.
Sorry, Justin's been, like, making faces at me, and then I flipped him off, and then he just came over and kissed my forehead.
Aw, you
That's
guys are cute.
the kind of relationship we have.
Yes. If your husband doesn't kiss you after you flip him off, don't marry him.
No, agreed. So, I'm, like, so excited to find out who's gonna win our newlywed game.
Oh my gosh, me too.
You guys will already know, because the video will go up this Wednesday. Well, you know what I mean. And this video will be the following Wednesday, so you guys will already know. We don't know yet.
We have no idea.
But in our video from last week, we wanted it to do, like, we wanted our husbands to, like, be on the podcast with us, and, like, we all wanted to have conversations. But, like, lives happen and things happen, and we had to record separately, and that's fine. Like, things don't always go as planned. But I definitely, like, I'm so excited to hear the next podcast.
I am too. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And, like, both of our husbands are so, like, I feel like they're very similar. So it's like, this is going to be fun.
They're so funny. And in a future episode, we would like to have, like, our husbands together during our podcast, and maybe do, like, a roast episode where we roast each other.
I think it'd be great.
I think it would be hilarious. If anybody has any ideas, comment them, and we will definitely take them into consideration.
Yes, or anything you think would be fun for us to do with our husbands.
Yes.
Like another game, or like...
Oh, yeah, if you have a good game, let us know.
Heck, yes. Maybe even just like trivia or something will be cool.
Oh, trivia.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. We should
do
you guys Disney trivia.
Yes, Disney/Star Wars.
That'd be hilarious. I mean, Star Wars is Disney now.
True, that is true. I still get so freaked out over Marvel and Star Wars being Disney. But anyways, guys.
We just kind of went off of the subject, but our rant of the day. Who is ready for that?
Yes.
Cass.
Who's ready?
I think you should go first this time. I feel like I always go first.
Okay, so I'm kind of going to make this into like... Okay, so I'm going to kind of give off two since this is the wedding episode. My first rant is going to be, first of all, if you RSVP, don't tell the person the day before the wedding that you're not going to be able to make it. First of all, it's rehearsal, and I'm sure the bride or the groom are already maybe a little bit stressed out because they're feeling like they're forgetting something. And all these people are texting me and saying, hey, just want to let you know 12 hours before the ceremony that we're not going to be able to make it now. Just don't. Just don't. It would be better if you just didn't show up, which also pisses me off. But another thing is, for me, if you put on your RSVP card the people that are coming and you have the nerve to bring someone to the reception that A, you didn't put on the card, and B, isn't the person that you said they were going to be, and then I find out after looking at photo booth pictures,
Oh,
no,
that's rough.
no. Like, don't bring people without asking me. Like,
And
I
like,
mean, it's cool, and it was cool at the time because I didn't notice. But I go back and look at pictures and I'm like, all right, who's this person? Because I have no idea who they are. And why is this person here? Because they weren't even invited.
right. I mean, your face. I wish you
Like,
guys could
what?
see her face right now. Yeah, and I mean, like, we both did seating plans and did name cards. So, like, the people that you didn't know were coming obviously don't have a name card. And I don't know about you, but, like, that gives me anxiety because I'm a very, like, organized
Mm-hmm.
person and I'd like to have a name card for everybody that's there.
Oh, me too. And it took forever. I don't know about you, but it took me about 3.5 hours
Yeah.
to get the chart and all the name cards done.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about my dog.
Oh, it's okay. She's just being friendly. She feels some type of way about it too.
She does. Joy's so mad because she wasn't invited to our wedding.
That was Joy's rant of the day.
Yeah, she's like, my mom and dad didn't invite me to their wedding. I had to stay at another person's house. But, you know, she made it through and she had a good time. She stayed with her brother, which is actually her brother. Our friend's mom has her biological brother. So she had
Aww,
a good
that's
time.
so cute.
Anyway, but do you have anything else to say about your rant?
No, basically just don't be a jerk. Don't do things that you shouldn't be doing at my wedding.
If
And
you wouldn't want
don't
it to...
give me attitude about who I do and don't want to the wedding. If you're going to go
Yes.
ahead and give me attitude, don't even come. That's the thing. Don't even come.
My rule is follow the golden rule. If you wouldn't want it to happen at your wedding, don't do it to somebody else for their wedding.
I agree. Retweet, sister. Retweet. But anyways, I'm just going to keep going. So you go ahead and do your rant, or I'm going to be talking about this for 20 minutes.
So, hold on, I gotta pull it up. My rant of the day is actually from a listener of ours. Her name's Arroya. She's Justin's cousin. She was also in my wedding.
Hi, Roya.
Hi, Arroya. So glad you listened. So she messaged me and said, "Hi, I listened to your podcast today. That's really cool. That you two are doing that. I came up with a rant that I'm sure you can understand, considering you just got married. Why do people insist on telling you their RSVPs in person or over text? That's what the cards to send back are for, which are the RSVP cards.
Mm-hmm.
And they're literally stamped and addressed. We spent money on those. Send the darn things back. LOL." Arroya? Yes.
I feel that on an emotional level, actually.
So, like, me and Justin had a lot of people. So we sent out a lot of invitations. We bought a lot of stamps. We spent a lot of money on invitations. I literally, it made my blood boil when people were like, "I'm coming to your wedding." Cool. Send me the RSVP back.
And do it on time.
Like, and then whenever they're like, "Well, can I just hand it to you?" No! Take it to a mailbox. Mail it to me. That's what the stamp is for. I didn't put the stamp on there to make it look pretty.
I feel that.
Yes, Justin's giving me a funny look in the background. Yes, it just makes my blood boil. So, Arroya, that was a great rant of the day. And if you have a rant of the day that you would like us to shout you out for, please message one of us, put it in the comments, do whatever you feel you need to do to get it to us, and we will shout you out on our next podcast.
please do so. And if you guys like what you're hearing, let us know. We need the feedback.
Yes, please.
We want to know.
Good.
Hi, our moms. I know you're going to be listening.
Hey, Mom. But, weddings are stressful. I'm lucky I had you, Cass, to go through.
I'm so lucky I had you too.
Find a friend that you know you can trust while planning your wedding. Confide in your significant other. I feel like we didn't really talk about the guys too much and their contribution to this. But, like, they're obviously a big part of the wedding, too. Stop. Justin just gave me another look. He needs to not be home when we're recording. But, yeah, definitely confide in your significant other because they're going through this with you.
I agree. I definitely agree. Do it. And if you don't feel comfortable enough to talk to your significant other about this stuff, I don't know what to tell you. But you should definitely be able to.
You might want to double think your wedding.
I agree. I 100% agree. But we hope that you guys enjoyed this video. We just figured that if there's even one bride or groom that's kind of going through some stress or needs help with their wedding, hopefully they could stumble across this and get some real help out of it, because I wish we could have had this to listen to when we were planning our wedding.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Whoo-wee, there were some moments.
Yes, there really was. There really were. Wow. Talking is hard today. Anyway, we are Two Eyes, One World. Like us, subscribe to us, follow us on Facebook, all that good stuff. Comment down below. Like our video on YouTube. We're now on Spotify. What else are we on? Spotify, Google Podcasts.
Yes.
Anchor.
YouTube and Facebook.
Yes. What she said.
Look at us.
So, we're growing our podcast. Please give us a listen. We would very much appreciate it. We hope we made you smile today. So, Cass, who are we?
Two Wives, One World.
We hope you enjoyed listening. We can't wait for next time.
See ya.
Bye.